Well, we're here at Chain of Rocks. We're gonna see how this work out. I'm gonna just record until it goes dead or either it stops. But we're really just testing everything today. Today I got my 10-pound weight with me. I have one for each arm. We're gonna do squats, nothing but squats as I walk. And then we do the suitcase lift, one in each arm. So I'll be having a total of 20 pounds of weight on me. Nice, beautiful day out here. Wind's supposed to be picking up to about 20 miles an hour, 10 to 20 miles an hour. So that'd be fluctuating. Was a lot of fog earlier, but the fog is burned off. It's almost 9 o'clock a.m. It may be 9 o'clock a.m. at the moment. But earlier, as I was watching the news and looking outside, fog was pretty thick. That time of the year, that's the contrast in temperature. So you're gonna have fog. Plus we had rain yesterday, it wasn't that much. Earlier in the week, we had plenty of rain. So I'm gonna be doing this, doing the squats in intervals. Because if I squatted all the way across this bridge, which is 1 mile across each direction from the Missouri side to Illinois, or Illinois to Missouri, which now I am doing the Illinois to Missouri side. Try to get my walking program back together. Finding myself wanting to do what I do during the morning and at work, then come home and find comfort in my couch and watching YouTube. I see all that rain we had. It did fill these little line spots. They refilled again. They had drained out, because we didn't have any rain back in October. Seemed like November is making up for October, September and October. It has receded because back in the early spring, all this here was filled with water and fish. Oh, okay, not walking up far enough. So if you can see that puddle down there, but back in the spring, the fish were thick. I don't see any fish movement today. And that then was because the river had came up. So if the river don't come up, you won't see any fish in this water. That's why I'm not seeing them. Because this is not from the river. All this is just from rainfall. Plus the raccoons, birds, whatever else they want to eat, the fox. Any fish that get trapped back here don't make it back to the river. They become food. Okay, I'm gonna do my first first squats. I'm starting to do these squats when I wake up at night, go to the bathroom, before I get back into bed. I do them. I do a set of 10 to, not a set, just one set. Anywhere from 10 to 30. Sometimes I do 40 per set, depending on how many times I get up at night. My getting up at night depends on, excuse me, how much water I drink before I go to bed or late evening. Don't mind getting up, using the restroom at night. A lot of people don't realize it helps flush those kidneys, especially if it's clean water. And what I mean by that is if you are drinking just water before you go to bed, a couple hours before you go to bed, nothing but water, it'll flush those kidneys. I'm gonna see how this, excuse me, how this cancellation mic is going to drown out this wind sound. This is the true test today. I tried to do it when I was on a boat a couple of weeks ago. It did it somewhat, but then I didn't really have it turned on. So I hope that it's recording and it's actually working. Do some more squats. How's it going? Good morning. So that's a total so far of 20. And if I'm not squatting, I'm doing what we call the suitcase carry, where you just keep the weights in your hand and keep your arms down by your side. Suck your gut in. Walk as vertical as you can without leaning. Keep your shoulders straight, not back, just keep them straight. What this does, it strengthens the shoulders. You ever have rotator cuff surgery? This is one of the exercises that the therapist will have you do. And if you ever have rotator cuff surgery, don't ever stop doing exercises. Unfortunate, I know people or a person that has not had, excuse me, the greatest success with maintaining himself due to the fact that his work, I'm sure, has a lot to do with it, because you're using different muscles in a strange way when you are installing certain types of material. That's with anybody. Hell, if you don't stretch before you do anything, especially as you mature, it'll make a difference. Now, I'm getting up into the higher or the crown of the bridge. We're gonna start picking up some wind sound here in a minute. I'm gonna be in this opening. Right now, the trees are muffling everything. You may hear some wind muffle. Hopefully you're not hearing that at all, because this cancellation mic is supposed to eliminate that. These guys are working on this bridge today, which is Sunday, the new Channel Rocks Bridge. I would say right now it's probably 84, 90%, I would say 90% complete on the northbound side. Nope, southbound side. The southbound side of this bridge is almost completed. So right now I can confirm it's been 2 years. Not a fast process. But these guys aren't messing around. They was out here during the winter this year, 2024 and 2023. They're more or less now, they're taking off the overhang brackets today on the south side of the bridge. Yep, they're removing overhang brackets. Now those overhang brackets help the structure so they can pour concrete out past the, I'm gonna forget the name of the wall. I'm trying to call it by its correct name. But anyway, it's protected, help with the barrier. It's more like it creates a sidewalk. But I doubt if they're putting a pedestrian walk on that bridge. Yes, that's what they're doing. They're taking down the overhang brackets. More squats. I'm not coming out and just make that 15 instead of 14. I see more people coming up behind me now. People are waking up and realizing, like I did, I'm overdressed. I took for granted when I heard 50 degrees. Actually, I think it was 57 when I was watching the news this morning. I took it for granted and overdressed. You can actually come out here today with shorts on. People coming up behind me, I see they have jackets on. I ain't talking about those puffer jackets, the ones that like you blow air into them, make them look puffy. See, they're gonna do some work on the bridge. Yeah, you got fishermen on the Missouri side this morning. I mean, on the Illinois side. You're always gonna have fishermen up here. You know, you can't see them, they too far out. And I see some guys out there on his boat. This is the month for catfish, brother. It's 2 weeks in a row. I haven't gone fishing. My tow vehicle has been repaired for the hail damage that we had back in April. I took a good beating. When I say a good beating, my vehicle took a good beating. It was a catastrophic hailstorm. And man, the shops, I thought I delayed my work, but then I found out that these shops, even for the month of October, are still busy repairing vehicles from that storm of April 2024. So I thought I had my vehicle back, but I'm not in a rush. I'd much rather for them to do what they have to do to have it right when I get it back. A lot of people, as you drive over a bridge, you'd be wondering, man, it's taking those guys forever. You'll find out when you're driving over a bridge that's been constructed or near one that's been constructed, when you drive past, you got to recall you're driving in a car and you're moving at a certain rate of speed, 55 or better. Hopefully not through a construction zone though. And if you got out and walked that construction zone, you'll realize that's a lot of work, a lot of concrete, a lot of rebar, a lot of pier drilling or core drilling. Lots of work. Nothing quick about it. Now they're gonna tear down the bridge on the north side after this south bridge is completed. And it looked like to me, they plan on having this south side open this year. If they take the overhang brackets off already, Their plan is to get this bad boy opened. They're gonna switch all the traffic off the north side to the south side. Then they have to demo the entire north side of the bridge. More squats. A lot of people got laid off on that job. Construction is one of those industries, get to a certain point, you start laying off. Initially, you start off with X amount of people from different trades. Get to a certain point, you hire more people to push the schedule. Once that schedule gets pushed, you get to another point, then you can start pulling back on your manpower. And at this point, like I said, with that bridge being 90% complete, quite a few people aren't working right now. So construction is one of those things where, yeah, you work, but you have to know how to budget it. Keep a nice budget going. Don't overspend, because you're gonna have those slow days in the winter. In the winter time, when construction is kind of slow. But now that everything's pretty much fast track, contractors have found ways to work around snow and ice. But because of safety, they're still limited. Still takes a human body to put technology together. So technology is great in processing what's gonna take place and how a building should be constructed, but that's still man's input, because it takes an engineer and architect to do that. Then from there, it's up to the contractor to put it in place. Do some more squats. I thought I was going to regret bringing a 10-pound weight with me, but I don't. 10-pound weight is okay. People behind me are starting to catch up to me, no biggie. So like I said, hopefully my noise cancellation is doing what it's supposed to do. For some reason it seems like I'm getting to the Missouri side faster today. I'm not even walking at a pace. I'm just walking, squat, suitcase carry. Maybe because I'm speaking, huh? Good morning. I give you a better view, let you look at this a little bit better. This is looking at this from another angle. This calendar year, 2024, I didn't make it out on the river. I found my honey, not so much a honey hole, I found out how to better fish Carlisle Lake. I may take on another location, which I think I will. Next year, I never had luck at Rand Lake, which is in Illinois. That's on my list for next year. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit more next year because I know now Carlisle, as far as the lake structure, like the back of my hand. And again, if I was a white bass fisherman, I could have killed white bass this year. I could have had loads of white bass. Because while I was fishing with the catfish, I was coming across, not catching them, white bass. For me and white bass, whole thing in a nutshell, I guess because I eat too much fish, or so much of it when I do eat it, is that I don't get enough of it. A lot of work for what you get off of it. Same way with crappie. Everybody has their species that they like, but if you want candy, I would say bluegill, any game fish. But they got catfish now as a game fish. So you want some game fish, catfish, bluegill, white bass, stripers. What am I missing in that category of game fish? Bass. I'm not a bass fisherman, but if I get the legal size bass, sorry, he becomes a meal. That's the game fish of game fish. But I bet you if you put a bluegill challenge on, that'd be interesting. To me, the bluegill population is not as congregated as it used to be, especially like in rivers, lakes, especially below dams, because the Asian carp, big head carp, have just changed the pattern of all fish, really. Now, Asian carp, big head carp, some people call it silver carp. They tasty. You fillet it, they have bones in them like any other fish, but they're a little bit more bonier. But if you know how to fillet it right, and everybody always say cut the red meat off of it. Yeah, you want to cut the red meat off of it if it's saturated. Get rid of the red meat. You got some good white meat on those carp. I'd like to go back to catching a yellow carp. That's also my goal, 2025. Who knows, maybe late 2024, because I'm not gonna stop fishing until ice dictates, hey, the ramps are slick, you don't wanna get out here. Once that happens, of course, I'm gonna back off. But until then, next year, 2025 for sure, in the spring, I am going for buffalo. I'm gonna try this recipe that I have seen success with on YouTube with another gentleman that fishes with his sons. He's always experimenting with different things and showing you how they work. I'm gonna pick up on his technique